All right, so we're going to go over a little bit about the new transition. Some of this might be redundant. We did go over it in your AD Summit, but I don't think we had everybody in the room. So for those of you who don't know, we purchased Grinnel Mechanical products back in August. Just the mechanical side. We didn't purchase the fire protection side. So with the acquisition, they had a foundry located in Anniston, Alabama. We have since closed that. We didn't close the foundry. We actually sold it February 1st. We brought all the patterns to Columbia, and we're going to actually manufacture everything out of Columbia here. So with that being said, we did acquire, as you guys know, some more distributors. Obviously, one local, which is IVRI. We got another one down in Philadelphia, which is William Betts Company. So, and then we had a couple down in Maryland, which you guys I don't think would be too concerned about. So with that being said, the Grinnel name, we're actually, all of the Grinnel product, what we did is we're finishing jobs right now. We've made enough product. We're only stocking the Grinnel product in Chicago. So all of the distributors, like say IVRI, right now they're still considered a Grinnel distributor. They're not GrooveLOK. Once their product is moved and they transition through the jobs that they have going on, everything will eventually become GrooveLOK. The name Grinnel will eventually go away. A couple months time maybe. We're trying to transition the larger Grinnel guys now over to the GrooveLOK product. So they're fairly small, so they'll eventually get transitioned, probably by maybe midsummer or so, or depending when if their stock runs out.
I'm confused because I know that the Grinnell stuff is cheaper.
Well, we actually we put a bosh to that from the beginning. We bought Grinnell, so IVRI obviously had some jobs going on with Grinnell product that they had to finish out with the Grinnell pricing, which was understandable. Anything going forward, we've obviously sat down with them. John and I actually have a new regional manager for GrooveLOK products. Tony Argilla, who was the regional manager prior to that, is no longer. So we acquired Steve McDonald, who he was an actual Grinnell guy. They had two regional guys, one for the Midwest and one for our area.
So you're saying it's all going to be one product, though? It's
all going to be one product. Okay. The Grinnell name will eventually be no more. Okay. You'll see it at like the bottom of our like letterhead and whatnot. Just that we had acquired Grinnell, just like our back and the other.
Yeah, because I know I'm in competition a lot with that because I know they're.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their pricing going forward is we've put a kibosh on that with all of our distributors, all of John and I's distributors.
Right.
It wouldn't be fair to give them an advantage. You guys are a stocking distributor. They stock it too. John's seen their stock. I don't think it's much, right, John? So yeah, that's a tough one. We've got you guys and we've got Jaeger. So, Jaeger had the same exact concerns. So basically, like I said, the Grinnell name is going to be completely gone, probably sooner than later. Okay. So what we've done, and then I'm going to let John take over from here. So what we've done is we actually brought. They had products. They had some products that we felt were better suited for our line, and we had some products that so what we did is we kind of blended our lines. John's going to go into detail from there.
All right.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to show what Gail was going over is this right here. Johnson Controls kept the Grinnell fire line. So you're still going to be hearing that name out there, but it has nothing to do with us. It's fire. And I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't know who's going to stock it. We did not acquire the fire protection side. So all the Grinnell fire protection stuff that you deal with or you buy, you're not, it's not going to be any Grinnell in there. So it's a whole other animal.
We actually have a 6-year non-compete with them, so they can't, like some products, like if they were to try to sell into the mechanical side, we have a non-compete with them. So if anybody out there sees any of that product lingering in over on the mechanical side, we need to know because that's a big issue.
Now, obviously, Gail was saying that there's some products that we have that they don't, and also products that they have that we didn't. We're taking the best of what they had to make our line even better. I'm going to show you some things that we're acquiring that we didn't have before that we have now. We didn't keep all of their material because pretty much all the material was just like ours. I mean, the product, the couplings, everything was pretty much mimicked us. Because what it was us back in 2000, and it just went down to Anniston, and pretty much it was all the same. But they do have products that are going to really help us, and it's already helping us right now.
A good thing about the acquisition, you know, if we're out of something on the GrooveLOK side, we can actually pull from the Grinnel side. We've got a letter on our website, it's one and the same. Anvil owns both now, so we actually have a letter on our website as far as warranting the product that Grinnel and GrooveLOK is an Anvil product. So if we get some mixed stuff, which you guys shouldn't see, especially your stock, you're not going to see any stock mixed. But if, say, we ran out of butterfly valves or something and we needed to go, moving on a project, we could pull from the Grinnel side and supply you guys with a letter, or your contractor with a letter.
I will show you that letter when we get to the website part. It's right on the website. You can print it out. It's right there. It warrants both. Matter of fact, we are doing that as we speak right now because there was a job where there was 10-inch 90s where Grinnell didn't have any, but GrooveLOK did. We supplied it, gave them the letter. It's all the same, and it's warranted. So if we don't have something, you need it, and there's some Grinnell in Chicago, don't worry about it. It's warranted the same way as yours, as GrooveLOK is. One of the new products, and I am still learning about this right now, and I don't know if it will come back with your Viega, correct? Viega. You have stainless steel Viega also? Okay. We have, it's called G-Press. It was always there. We've acquired it. We're going to keep it as our line. Price-wise, I haven't even seen the prices yet, so I don't know how it's going to compete with that. But it does not take the same jaws as your tool. It's a proprietary jaw that you have to purchase or rent from us. So learning it, it's essentially the same as what you're using now, but it's from us. So I'll learn more and get back to you. If you're interested, I can get you more information on that. But that would probably, Viga wouldn't appreciate you looking at that too much. But this is just for your knowledge. We do have this. There's other stuff here we're going to go over that will be of interest to you. Copper fittings. Everyone has seen our copper fittings, and you probably already stock our copper fittings, correct? Our grooved copper fittings. You know that our copper fittings are a wrought type. It's all wrought throughout the whole line. It is an import product. It meets the Buy American, but it's not an import, but not a domestic product. We are going to go to their product, which meets all of the same NSF 61, ULFM, NSF, meets everything that they do. The only thing is when I get to the picture, you're going to see that it's not a wrought fitting, it is a cast fitting. As you can see right here, if you had one in your hand, it's a cast fitting. It's a substantial fitting. It's a very nice fitting. It's a very good fitting. When you have it in your hand, you know you got something there. So it's a domestic fitting, and we're going to switch over to all that. So all of our wrought will be switched over to this. Any questions? All the couplings, everything is going to stay the same. We didn't take their couplings. We're going to keep our couplings, and we're going to use their fittings.
Actually, what we are going to do, we still offer today the 6400 couplings, which is the standard rigid style where they latch them over, and then the 6402s, which is the SlideLOK coupling. We're going to do away with the 6400s. We're only going to have the SlideLOK coupling going forward. For copper. Yeah, just for copper. For steel, we're going to continue with the 7401s, 7400s.
And it's a 6402. That, as you know, our 74 used to be a 7402, and then we switched it to a 74 because we made it more rigid. We are actually developing a 64 for our copper. So as right now, it goes pad to pad, just like our old 7402 used to be. And it didn't give as much a rigid connection as we'd like. So we are developing a 64 coupling for copper. So that will be also gaps on both sides instead of going pad to pad. So that's going to be an improvement on our copper coupling also.
So the wrought and the cast are dimensionally interchangeable then?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes. All the dimensions are the same. It's just a heavier fitting.
Right.
It's a substantial fitting. Grooves are the same, dimensions, everything is going to be the same. And your variety of fittings will be the same. Your reducers, your reducers, you're reducing tees, you're reducing by sweat, by cup. You're going to have all of that. We're not taking their valve. We're having our valve. The only wrought fitting they have is one of the reducers that goes to sweat. So that's only one item. The valve itself, they have a valve, but our valve is made by Combraco, so we're going to keep that one as it's a domestic product, and we're having real good success with that. So copper fittings, as Gail said, all the fittings are going to be changing. The couplings are going to be staying with us. Any questions on copper? It's going to be a good thing because the copper fittings now were made in South Korea. Believe it, they do meet the Buy American Act, but these are going to be domestic. So we have a better product now. Along the same lines, not that one. Going back to stainless again, our stainless grooved fittings. Our stainless grooved fittings currently are import. We are going to their grooved copper fittings. It's going to be same. Oh, go ahead, Gil. Stainless fittings, yeah, stainless fittings. It's going to be the same as our A series. Same dimensions, same everything. The only thing is, it's going to be a domestic product. So you're going to be getting that also. So we're gaining a domestic product there too. All dimensions are going to be the same. When I get to the valves, we've also gained, which is really good. We've already sold some already. Is we never had a stainless butterfly valve to go along with this. So if we quoted a job, we didn't have a valve to go along with it. They do have a stainless butterfly valve, and I'm going to show it to you when I get to the valves. That's a big addition to our stainless line. And we're also going to have stainless ball valves. So we're going to have grooved stainless butterflies and grooved stainless ball valves, which is something we never had before.
That's funny because Fab Club was new when the grooves. Huh?
Okay.
That's all available nowadays, so if you need, pricing or something.
This is going to be good. This is going to get rid of a lot of headaches out there in the field by selling large diameter butterfly valves like we're doing now. If you've ever seen one of our large diameter butterfly valves, 14 and above, they are a manufactured item. It's a lug pattern butterfly valve that we make in our fab shop. It's a lug pattern butterfly valve. Have you seen that before? It's a lug pattern, and then our fab shop puts on two grooved by flange adapters. So we just make it with a lug pattern butterfly valve. So it's really a heavy, big item, and it's fabricated. It's not one piece. Now, as you can see, now we're going to have all the way through 24-inch, a one-piece grooved butterfly valve, same as our smaller sizes. And the good thing about this too is it has an epoxy coating instead of a nylon coating, which we are going to because it takes a higher temperature. So this already has a nylon coating, but our other valves we're going to have that soon also.
The small diameter butterfly valves.
Yeah. So now we mimic our valves. We don't have a different looking valve than on large diameter than we do on small diameter. And you can see that the dimensions are going to come out the same as our made up valve, but it's just going to be a nice not to have to fabricate a valve. The other nice item we have too, we do have a 7500 in our catalog, but our stock and our availability has never been where we needed it to be. They have a real nice valve through 6-inch, 2-inch through 6-inch in a ductile iron body. So that's going to be another good item that we have also available to you. Ductile iron body with what kind of ball can we get? Yeah, stainless steel ball. So it's going to be a ductile iron body, stainless steel ball, which was pretty much a trouble item for us before. Now we have these in stock. That comes gear operated also. You can get it lever or gear operated. Okay, here's our stainless steel butterfly valve. Grooved stainless steel butterfly valve through size through size 6-inch grooved stainless steel butterfly valve. Now like I said, we never had that before. Now we have it. It's going to be the material is 3/16 stainless steel disc. The body is 3/16 stainless steel body. So we're going to have that offering also. When we did stainless steel fittings, we always had to either offer one of our standard valves, which worked most times, but it's going to be nice to offer this because we never had it before. So
That'll make us much more competitive.
yeah, because we would just have to, you know, not like, especially when you get to the OEMs, which you guys deal a lot with. They want what they want, and we can't offer them a black, you know, regular butterfly valve with the stainless steel list of fittings. And here's our new grooved stainless steel ball valve, up through 4-inch, I believe. That's going to be the body is cast stainless steel. The ball is stainless steel. It's up through 4-inch. Working pressure 600 psi. So this is another thing that we never had before, which is going to be nice to offer everyone. Anybody get calls for that in the industrial world? The stainless steel butterflies and ball valves? I'm sure you do. And we just had to say, I'm sorry, I don't have anything. But this is going to be nice. Circuit setters. This is pretty much the same as our circuit setter now. Our circuit setter now is made by Armstrong. They've recently switched overseas, so they're made in China. They used to be made in the United States, in New York. Now they're made in China. So we're going to the domestic GrooveLOK item, which is dimensionally is the same workings, same balancing, same everything. It's just a different valve, and it's going to be domestic.
Do we know who's private labeling that voice?
I have to find out who the private label is. But it is a private label, but it is a domestic product. I will get that for you.
So what we're saying is the Armstrong will be no more.
Yeah.
This will actually be our domestic valve from now on.
I thought you had gone from, I thought you were using red white.
Red white is on our smaller
Okay.
small ones, like the threaded and the sweat, the brass.
And when you get into the coil kits, that's all red and white.
Yep. We're keeping that whole side. We're only going to in balancing. We're only going to this in flanged and grooved. They have flanged and grooved. Everything else, sweat, threaded, is going to be red white valve, and the coil hookups. And that's all of the valves. Any questions on valves? That's our new offerings on valves. One last item. It's a small item, but it's gonna. There's always people that complain about certain things. In our smaller sizes of mechanical tees, it's a U-bolt type, and people just don't like the U-bolt types. So in Grinnell, all of their mechanical tees are not U-bolt. Even the smaller sizes, they have the solid back on the mechanical tee.
That's really big for us in like New York City and places like that. They just would not allow the U-bolt style, so we would automatically just not even be thought of for this product. So this is really big for us in certain pockets.
Yeah, a lot of people just hate that U-bolt because it just looks flimsy. So
Engineers won't allow it.
yeah. This is another small item, but it's a big item out in the field.
Yeah.
And that's just for the smaller sizes. We're keeping ours going. Whatever was ours going forward on the not non-U-bolt type. We're keeping ours. We're going to be taking theirs on the small diameter. Okay. That is the extent of the changes, the additions to our offerings as far as the couplings are concerned. Everything is going to be the same. They had a quote installation ready coupling. It was called a pivot joint. Anyone ever see that? It's really not. You still have to put the gasket on first and you wrap it around. It wasn't really an installation type, but we're keeping our SlideLOK, so we're not keeping theirs. If anyone says pivot joint Grinnell, we're not having that. That still is, to us, is a regular coupling, because you still got to take it apart and put the gasket on first and wrap it around. So it wasn't much of a
Quick installation.
yeah, it wasn't much. That was their offering. Any questions on products? SlideLOK couplings. SlideLOK couplings. You should have received, right, Bob? You've received one of these in your office.
It's down at the counter.
Okay. This is going. We've been bringing this around and showing people, and it's a good way to show them how the SlideLOK works, and it's also a great way to show how it's better than this one, the Victaulic 107. It's a great tool to use at the counter. Take this. Outside guys, take it to your contractors. It's really easy to carry around and demonstrate. It shows a lot. Just real quick, have you used it yet at the counter? Have you used it yet, or?
I don't know if Sean has or not.
Okay. Really, it's really a quick thing.
I mean, we played with it.
Yeah.
And Jim, we can, before we leave or whatever, show your counter guys, or like at the will call counter, just so they can show a customer when they come in.
Yeah. I believe you guys said that you got your short nipple and a coupling that you can show in the field real quick without one of these. We carry that too, but this is a real good item that you can just show them. You just hit it with some lubricant. I'm going to show you a video. Hit it with some lubricant. It slides over. Where the big difference with this is this stabs on the end. Now, there's the difference. Right now, I have a blind. I'm going in blind now. I can't see the end of the pipe. So I could be coming. I don't know if I'm going to be lining up correctly, because this is hiding it. I can't see. So
what causes that? The inner part of their gasket, they actually have this stop. See that right there? So what their Victaulic's approach is, it's a stab approach. So you stab one side of the pipe in, and like John said, by doing that, you can't expose the end of this pipe. You have no idea if that's going to go in straight. You have no idea what your gasket's going to look like when you butt that up. So the difference between ours and theirs. Go ahead, John.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wanted to show them that stop in there, so they know that that's how they get their seal.
Yep, and I'm going to show you a video, but this slides all the way over, exposing this. Now I have full view of it. So now when I'm hooking up, I know right now that I am straight, I am lined up correctly, where you couldn't see it there, and then all I do is you slide this over and then tighten it down and walk away. The other thing that this is great on, that this does not, and this is a big sale item too, for you out there to your contractors, is labor. I mean, labor is the biggest number they have on any job. Prefab, it's great to prefab. It saves time when you're installing it. Victaulic, if say there's a guy up in the air and needs to put a piece of pipe in, wouldn't it be great if that piece of pipe already had the coupling on it right now, and you could give it to him and it had the coupling on it already, and all he had to do was get it up in the air, do this, and move it over. That would be a great thing. That's almost like prefabbing. With Victaulic, you cannot do that, because when you put this on like that, you have to put another piece in and tighten it down. They say it in their field book. It's dangerous. You cannot tighten this down without another piece of pipe in. So you can't put this down on the floor and then lift it up to somebody, because it's going to fall off. And they show that in their field book. Falling off, hitting people, it's a dangerous thing. So they say don't do it. So you cannot prefab with a 107. You can prefab with a 74. All you have to do, all the guy on the ground or even in the fab shop, all he has to do is put it over and hand tighten this till it's snug, and it's not going to go anywhere. And they could ship it out to the job site. The guy on the floor could put this on, hand it up to the guy up installing it. It saves time. It saves time where they cannot do that with theirs. questions on that? Okay, I'm going to show you a video of the 74. Has anyone seen the video already on our website? No? Okay. First, we're going to show you a horizontal installation. Is what we just showed here, horizontal.
274, SlideLOK coupling, horizontal installation. Apply a thin coat of GrooveLOK lubricant to the exposed surfaces of the gasket. Be careful that foreign particles do not adhere to the lubricated surfaces.
The inside's already
Place the
lubricated.
coupling over the pipe, making sure the coupling does not extend past the pipe end. Align the two pipe ends and slide the coupling into position, centering it between the grooves on each pipe. Hand tighten the nut evenly on each side. Alternately and equally tighten the bolts to the specified bolt torque. Visually inspect the pipe joint to ensure the coupling keys are fully engaged in the pipe grooves. The bolt pads are to have equal gaps on each side of the coupling.
Remember when I was saying that we switched over from the 7402 to the 74? The 7402, just like our copper coupling, went pad to pad. Well, since it went pad to pad, we really couldn't tell whether A, the groove wasn't too deep, it was installed properly, but having the gap on both sides, it's a visual that the groove is good and you've tightened it down properly. So it's a lot better than a pad to pad, which pad to pad is what this is also. It goes pad to pad. So if you go down pad to pad, you don't know whether the groove is too deep. You do know that with ours. Now, vertical. That was horizontal. Now we'll go vertical. Now people are going to complain about our coupling and vertical. Well, I can tell you that if you do it properly, that's just something that SlideLOK is saying out there. I'll show you.
Figure 74, SlideLOK coupling, vertical installation.
Remember how
Apply
you
a
can
thin
snug this
coat
with your
of
hands.
GrooveLOK lubricant to the exposed surfaces of the gasket. Be careful that foreign particles do not adhere to the lubricated surfaces. Place the coupling over the pipe, making sure the coupling does not extend past the pipe end.
He snubbed this
Align
so
the
that
two
it's
pipe
not going to
ends
slide
and
down the
slide
pipe.
coupling into position, centering it between the grooves on each pipe. Hand tighten both nuts evenly. Alternately and equally tighten the bolts to the specified bolt torque.
So what SlideLOK says why we can't do that
Visually
vertically is
inspect the
because
pipe
it takes
joint
more
to
than one
ensure
person
the
to do it. Now you
keys
just
are
saw one
fully
person do it.
engaged in the pipe grooves.
But SlideLOK's out there saying,
Bolt
oh, you
pads
can't,
are to
it
have
takes two
equal
people.
gaps on each side
Yeah,
of
because
the
they say
pipe.
somebody has to hold this, it's going to slide down the pipe. Well, how easy is it just to, snug it there? And he had it snugged down already, so it stopped. Okay. Okay, let me just see here. We're going to do something. Okay. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to install one of these. I'm going to show you how to install it. First thing I want to do is show anyone ever use one of these, the tapes for the to measure the grooves.
It's been a while.
Okay. All right. This is used just here you go. Just around the pipe, and the line meets where the line meets on the measurements. So at 3 inches, 3.44. Can anyone come up and anybody come on up?
Nice you go.
Volunteer. Volunteer.
Bob, you do it.
Volunteer.
Bob's not gonna hesitate. Get out of here.
Yeah. If you look in the catalog, there's and you're going to need to do this in the field because it's going to come up where you're going to have to measure something where someone says that the groove was bad or whatever. So it's good to know this, and know how to measure the grooves.
You actually really don't, because that's what you rely on us for, but it's nice that you would be able to do that. Just so you know, when you're out in the field, how things work. You really don't need to do this.
They didn't roll it.
There we go. Okay. So in the back of the catalog and in the field books, there's a chart like this that shows a bunch of whole numbers. There's an A dimension, which is right here, or a C dimension, that shows the depth of the groove. And that is right there for each size. So it says 3.44, that's the OD, where the groove should be. So this, I'm going to hand this to Bob, but when we do this, we just wrap it around, Bob, right, until, see that line right there? And what's it say, 3, that's 3.3, and then what, 4?
I'm going here.
Yep.
Yeah,
3,
3.34.
4. Yep. So that's a perfect groove. So, show me. Yep, 3.34.
It didn't change.
That's how easy it is now.
Check it in real quick.
I just wanted to.
Sorry. I was just messing with
He didn't think he could use the tape.
I'm going to tell you a story that just happened last week, where I was called to a job site that a certain distributor, one of your competitors, grooved. Begins with a D, and they
16-inch.
16-inch
Oh,
pipe,
my.
16-inch pipe, and the contractor called me and said, "This just doesn't look right. There's something up with this." So
Couplings wouldn't fit.
yeah, couplings wouldn't fit, and it just didn't look right to him. So he had me out the next morning, and there was a lot of 16-inch pipe on the job site, ready to be hung, and there was a lot wrong with it. There's a dimension right here. This is the coupling sealing dimension right here. This is where your gasket seals. This is the most important part right here. Other than the depth of the groove, this is where it's keeping the water in the pipe. Well, this part right here was almost a half inch too short. This right here was too deep. This right here was flared out. It was like flare. So that means they jammed it all the way down. And when this flares out, it's not going to seal because it's like this. It has
There's
to-
tolerances, a plus or minus, that you can allow for, but
Yeah.
it's very minimal.
So they had to install this 16-inch pipe, and guess who rejected it all? And I'm sure that the certain owner found out who it was, and that I worked there before, and he probably wasn't happy with me. But the whole thing is, that was great that they called me, because it was under tolerance. I sent it to our R&D too, just to back up what I saw. I sent the pictures and the dimensions. Our R&D within minutes sent it back saying, no good, don't touch that pipe, it's no good. So all the lengths they had to cut off on the job site. So there'll probably be a back charge on that somewhere.
And the problem is they already drew their drawings, so you can't even cut that off and re-groove it, because your dimensions now are all messed up.
Yeah,
So what are they going to do with all that 16-inch pipe?
yeah, that really was the last week. So that's how important it is. This is really, really, really important. If they would have installed that, they probably could have put the couplings on and tightened them down, but it would have failed. It would have failed, no doubt about it. And who is the first person they point a finger to when it fails? Not the pipe manufacturer. They say, "Oh, your couplings failed." Well, it's because of something. It's not the coupling, and that would have failed big time. So, we'll just install this real quick. I would put lubricant here. I'm not going to do that right now because you can't get it off your hands. You would just put this over, line this up, line this here, and then you take your impact wrench, and you're going to tighten up both sides.
Milwaukee would have
And
had
I
to
look
do
at
it.
the sides. I look at the sides, and I have even gaps on both sides. So that's a joint. So just think how long a welded joint would have taken, and how long that took.
Or even just the old style coupling with the gasket. You know, they would have to lube the inner part of the gasket, outer part of the gasket, put it on the end of the pipe where John said where it actually goes on the seating of the pipe. Then you have to take your coupling, pull it over, put your bolts in, put your nuts on or whatever. So just that coupling alone is huge in labor savings.
Yes.
For you guys that haven't been in the industry long enough, the older coupling was out for years and years, and it was great.
Yeah.
But you drop nuts, you drop bolts, the gaskets would just trying to get them on the right place, position, put the coupling in. Very labor intensive. This
Yeah.
slide on, slide over,
Almost
done.
like a dummy could do
Yeah,
it, you know?
it's just exactly. It was.
We've been to job sites, no joke. You know, we've got the keyway, which goes in, male, female ends. I've been to job sites that actually, this is flipped around. You've got two males against a male, and they're trying to, and this doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Really? Like, really? But that's been like people that have gotten called from temp agencies or whatever to go to job sites. But still, so that takes all of that out of that coupling, which is fantastic. It almost eliminates, you really can't, with the way we have the force seal in it, and the way we slide it, you really can't pinch that gasket. With Victaulics you can, but with ours you really can't. Unless you can cut the gasket if your pipe prep isn't good on the ends. If you don't file the burrs off and stuff of your pipe, you can certainly cut the gasket.
What's an application where you would choose the 7401 or 7400 over the 74?
Anything above 8-inch. That's really it. Anything above 8-inch, because we make this to 8-inch.
Then why do you make the other one?
Well, I don't know, and I don't know how long. I don't know how long. That seems to be the question. How long will we continue to do that?
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, I mean, we still do sell a great.
too.
Yeah, we still, because they don't know that.
Because that's what they've
Because they
always
don't know that's
used.
right.
What is the labor savings from the old coupling to the new coupling?
I don't know
What was it? It was like-
like several minutes, right? I think it was like 3 minutes per joint.
It was-
something like that, or something.
It was drastic. I mean,
Yeah,
to
I
you,
mean,
to
it's-
I forget what it was. There was a.
I'm sure. Obviously, it varies with size.
Probably,
and stuff,
probably 3 times as long as, more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do one right here, but you just imagine, I would take this whole thing apart, take the gasket out, lubricate the gasket, put the gasket over the end, then pull this up, then slide the gasket over, just the gasket, then wrap this around with the bolts out of this coupling, then wrap it around, then tighten it down. It's 3-4 times. It's
Easy.
but-
Yeah.
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 If you don't drop a bolt or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the cost difference between the
This is
There is none.
Same.
There is
the
none.
same?
Yeah. Which is great because Victaulic, when they first did theirs, and I still believe they charge a premium for theirs. It's not the same. Well, I don't even know if they make their old coupling anymore.
DO7s?
Yeah.
I believe they do. Bob, there could be instances like in OEMs or something where they don't have room or something like that. They need to put it together apart. I don't know. I'm just thinking. But as far as contractors are concerned, no contractor wants anything but this under 8-inch. Just they don't. So,
Is there any plans to make them over 8-inch, or is there a design?
I don't know. Well,
where it can-
because Victaulic has what, done 10 and 12s now with theirs. So I'm sure we're always looking at meeting their what they offer. So we've got so much on our plate right now with the Grinnel acquisition, and we need to do a flexible one of those. We just came out with a fire protection one over the summer, so we're it's now with the Grinnel acquisition, that stuff's all really been pushed to the wayside, unfortunately.
So am I correct? So Victaulics
We may
has
eventually.
something like this?
this is it right here.
Okay, but it's not a slide.
No,
Oh, okay.
it's a stab.
Stabs.
That's
Got it.
exactly. This is exactly what this is.
I gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Except
Yeah.
with this, instead of just sliding it over,
You got
you're taking this and stabbing it in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've redesigned that coupling like 4 different times.
Is that right?
And
That's
it's
what we're
still,
talking
we
about.
we
Okay.
still see a tremendous amount of leaks with that coupling.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, just the installation of it. I mean, you can't, like John said, the end of the pipe isn't exposed. You don't know how you're stabbing it in. They've had a horrible, horrible time with their coupling.
Yep. So when you guys at the counter are showing this to somebody, just don't show them here. Don't slide over. Make sure they say. I mean, you can, I mean, you can still get one of these. Just have one of these handy or whatever,
And they still have some, right?
and just show them, show them what I showed you. I mean, this stabs on, this slides over. It's just a better mousetrap than what this is. Going along with that, everyone's familiar with Extreme Lube, correct? Everyone's familiar with Extreme Lubricant. Again, this does two things. It extends the life of the whole system because the gasket stays lubricated throughout the life of the gasket, and also it's good for hot water. So this protects the gaskets. So anytime you hear hot water, anytime you're going to be in a situation where it's heating, where there's going to be expansion, contraction, you always want to use this because when a pipe moves, if there's no lubricant on here, it's going to tear. So that's what happens with old style lubricant. It wears off after a while, washes off, because it's water based, and then there's an expansion and it tears the gasket. This is a little more expensive, but we always tell everybody to use this because it's you can tell, they can tell their owner of the building that this is going to extend the life of their system.
As you can see, steel and galvanized. It comes in both E gaskets, or EP gasket, and T gaskets.
Any questions on that? Are we okay with time? Are we?
We're good, yeah. We got like 10 minutes left, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is our on our website. This is our certificate that you're going to give when people say we want domestic product. This is on our website. You just go to the certificates. I'll show you where that is. And this right here, made in USA, and then this right here, this FAR number, that's Federal Acquisition Requirements, Regulations 52-225-11. That's huge. We just added that last year. Victaulic cannot say this, and they cannot say this. So they can't do it. So that's one of the reasons why we're getting so much government work down in the DC area, because they can't get this. Fort Belvoir, Maryland, about a $200,000 job. They had the order, they submitted on it, and then the government asked for their certificate. They couldn't give it to them. The contractor called us. Do you have this certificate? Yes, we do. Guess who got the job? They just got thrown right out because they didn't have their certificate.
Which opened the door for us with that contractor, same contractor for more government work. I mean, we might not get the core of their business. It's a huge contractor. We never even thought we'd ever do business with them, but the FAR, that right there is key, because the Victaulic absolutely cannot supply that. They'll say all day long, made in USA, da-da-da-da. However, their large diameter couplings are not made in USA. They can't even supply a letter that says that. They have no large diameter coupling that is a domestic product. So we've gotten a tremendous amount of work all over the country because of that.
Another thing that we've made up here, and this just happened to be and this goes on for 4 pages. I won't show it everyone, but when I go out with you guys, this happened to be a presentation for an engineer for this job, Leach Wallace, Wilmington Hospital. It was a Victaulic spec, so I was fighting that, and what I did was I took this, which goes on and on. I take this and I name everything that a mechanical specification can ever offer, and then I show per their spec. I highlight what they asked for and that we comply. And you can see right here, we already found something that they didn't comply to. And this just goes on, and this is something that I can do with you when we go to a contractor who always uses Victaulic, and they always say, you don't meet the specs. Well, yes we do, because this goes on, and I show that all of ours, you can see this goes on and on about we comply to Victaulic.
And John's had great success with the engineers by using this, just to show them that, like John said, we do comply with Victaulic.
When you can see the red on the other side, there's no red on our side. It just goes on and on. I named everything that anyone could ever ask for. Threw in the kitchen sink, and we just complied with everything. And this is going to show the people that just tell you that whatever contractor is just in love with, Victaulic, whoever it is, that we comply to everything. This is something I made up. You're not going to find that on the website. This was my baby. Anything else here? Okay. I'm going to. Any questions on product? I think we're running out of time. I'm going to show you our website.
So we've changed our website. I don't know if you guys have been on it recently, but we've changed it. It's a little bit confusing until you start using it. You know, when I first went in, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Why would they do this? Da 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 da. You know, it's always negative. But then as I use it more, there's actually more information on there, and it's just as user friendly as the other one.
Okay, yeah, this is what you'll see when it comes up. I've already put it into products because that's what you're going to be using mostly. You know, if you are looking for products, you would just hit product, pick which product you want, and this doesn't have grooved. It has everything: your hangers, your pipe fittings, everything. You would pick whatever product you want. So we want Grinnel, Grinnel product. So it's going to bring up all the products. And it's so easy. All you have to do is just say, what do you want? I want fittings. And then it goes into all the fittings. What kind of fitting do I want? It's showing copper right now, but I want to see, I want to see carbon steel fittings. So you go there, and then it shows me carbon steel fittings. So if I'm doing a submittal or I want to see dimensions, I would just go down this page and say, okay, 90s. I'll pick 90s. And then it brings up the 90s, and then it will show data sheets. Just click down to, you want to do a submittal, hit submittal, and there's your submittal right there. And it's so easy right now to just type in everything. Right down the bottom here, you can type in your product, your project, your contractor, everything. You can make a submittal right here and print it out on anything.
So we really need to get familiar with this because I'm sad to say we're doing away with catalogs. We are not going to print catalogs going forward. They've already let us know that. A lot of people, a lot of the younger generations don't want the catalogs. They want this. I like the catalog. There's a lot of, older folks that still like catalogs, but so hold on to your catalogs, people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of changes,
So
with
what we
us.
have is what we're not going to.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of changes, with all the new Grinnell products that we brought over. So I wish they would at least do one more series of the catalog before they let go of that. But I think they decided that before this whole Grinnell thing, went through.
Are they building that, or are they?
I don't know. We just hired a new marketing manager, so I'm sure, we've, I believe we're on Facebook or on, different, all the other guru stuff that I guess we should all be involved in. But I'm sure they probably will. They haven't let us know that.
So you'll be looking at products mostly, and then if you want to look for price sheets, certifications, you go to resources and downloads. On there will be all the videos that we were just showing. You can say view all. There's all kind of videos on here. There's not just the couplings. There's check valve installation. There's roll grooving demonstrations. Anything you can think of, there's a video on it. So you can look at that for your customers too, looking for videos. The other thing there, if you go to the downloads, price sheets are here. All the price sheets are on here. And Bob, if you're looking for a price sheet, it shows all the price sheets here. Obviously it shows all the hangers, all the iron fittings, all the height, goes down to nipples, and then valves, and then there's all the groove product there. So it'll show you the current sheet, and then you can look at back history too.
I think that the back history, I believe we go back, now 6 years in price sheets. So if your customer needs a price sheet from, a couple of years back, or hey, we missed the price increase or whatever, you can go back and actually grab that price sheet.
There we go. We go back to
2009.
Yeah.
So more than 6 years.
yeah. That's price sheets, and then I was talking about certificates. If you need certificates, you would go to here to certificates, punch that up. And then if you're looking, someone's asking you for that domestic, this is all of your certificates of compliance. There's Anvilettes, there's J.R. Smith, there's hangers. These are all your certificates. The one we just showed you was the Malville products, SlideLOK products, Columbia plant. That's the one we just showed you right there.
speaking of the Columbia plant tours are key. If you guys have any contractors, if we can do an ITS day, do, contractors in the morning, contractors in the afternoon, or customers, whatever, it'd be a great tool. It's right down the street. So we offer that all the time.
Here is that letter, and I'll show you where it was, so you know where it was. Yeah. This is, why can I do that? I hit it? Well, anyway, here's the letter that's on this on there. This is the letter. It's a GrooveLOK and Grinnell product use and warranty. So it says Anvil International has acquired Grinnell and fittings and valves. The combined use of both GrooveLOK and Grinnell branded mechanical products is an acceptable practice, and Anvil International's standard warranty will apply. So, if you have to mix and match because somebody doesn't have, if we don't have something, then you would just print that right off. If the guy's worried about it, you just do that because it holds the same warranty. So, I think I've got everything. That's our trailer. Everyone has seen our trailer. We've had the trailer out here before, right? So, we still have the 1007 machine on there. So, we do that. That was like on-site training there for a project. As the contractor there, we're training him to roll through the pipe.
So on the grooving tool side, nothing has changed there. Grinnell did not have their own grooving tools, so we don't. That's not a concern. We just rolling right along with our GrooveLOK tools. So we still have them. They're located down in North Alabama Pipe, which is down in located in Alabama. So we still rent them, still sell them out to contractors.
The only thing I didn't cover yet was the catalog, but that's pretty self-explanatory. Gail said this is, we're probably going to be getting rid of catalogs, but if you have any questions on the catalog, this is also on the web too, but you probably have these, but if you have any questions on this, just don't hesitate to give me a call, or Gail a call.
If we decide that is going to change because of the product blend, that we will do another issue, obviously, I'll let you know. We can get in, a couple cases.
Joint sales calls, we can go out, we can take this out, we can demo this all day long to your contractors. This really, when we take this out to contractors, it really opens their eyes when we show them this. You can talk all you want, but when we show them this, it's like, hey man, that really looks good. That's a pretty neat thing. So it's key to get that out to people.
And Jim's got sales samples. We, instead of obviously giving that big thing to throw in your car, we've sent out just a little nipple and a SlideLOK coupling so you can take it around for your guys. Same concept. You show them, it slides over the pipe. If you guys don't feel comfortable with that, we can certainly show you, how you want to show your contractor or your customer that.
Yeah, I have one in the car too when I can't carry this around. It's just,
Jim, you don't have them available, do you?
Yes,
Like,
I
readily
got 'em.
available? Can you grab one and we'll just show them right quick?
Yep.
Just so they're comfortable with it?
Yep.
We want you to be comfortable.
You hear that, Matt?
Comfy's good.
They want you to be comfortable.
I know.
Put your feet up.
Like your jammies.
Not that comfortable.
We've been hearing a lot about that other company, SureJoint. I can assure you that there's, they're out there talking, and but please know that if you hear the name SureJoint out there and they've got a customer's ear, A, they don't meet specs. They're not in any specs. You're not going to find SureJoint in any engineer's specs.
I don't know about that. We've certainly seen them in specs, but the issue is right now they are 100% domestic, not a full line. They're talking
Import.
about. I'm sorry, 100% import. With not a full line. So what they're selling on, just what Grinnell pretty much sold on, was cheap. Cheap guy of the market. So you'll have your guys out there. You'll have the contractors who buy cheap that will start buying that. So yeah, beware. We don't know who's stocking it right now. I don't think they've got a big distributor. There's a couple in Baltimore that they just brought, or they're claiming they're bringing on, which is Northeastern Supply and Thomas Somerville. They're going to be stocking it, but they also sold Grinnell, and it was cheap.
Yeah, and the other thing is they do not have an installation-ready coupling, and no contractor is going to listen to you there, because they just don't want to hear it if you don't have this. That was one of our big things way back a few years ago when we didn't have this. You have an installation coupling? No. All right, we'll see you. You know, that's pretty much how it went in the contractor. So they do not have an installation-ready coupling.
Our toughest combat right now with acquiring Grinnell and contractors that have bought Grinnell, like I said, the Grinnell guys sold cheap. They didn't even use a list price and a discount. They went cost plus. They had no clue where the market was. Obviously, they needed to sell product because they were being sold. So our biggest challenge right now is to get these contractors out of that mindset of cheap, cheap, cheap. Because we can't sell it for that. We can't manufacture it and be profitable and sell it for what they sold it for. That's why they were for sale, and that's why I guess we, obviously thought they were a good fit to our line. But we have, as we said from the beginning, you guys down the street, their pricing is gone. They've got projects with stupid pricing right now that's finishing up. And I think actually their projects, John, was one big project, and I do believe it's already done. So if you see, those guys out there throwing out some really ridiculous numbers, please let us know, because that's a big issue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most, Gail and I aren't the most favorite people right now in contractors that have been using Grinnell, because we're not having it. I mean, we have to change the price. We can't do it. We can't. And that's a big change. It's not like we're taking a 5 from them. We're taking 25, 30, a ridiculous amount. But hey, you know what? Grinnell put themselves in that position, so, and we're not like that. So, this right here, when it's the same thing, but you can do it really quickly. I just hold it here, just show the guy that you just hit it with lubricant, slide it over, you butt your other piece of pipe up, slide it back over, and hit it. So it's the same thing, but just not with another end. But this is a really quick way to show people, and I use this a lot more than this. So. And
if you're in somebody's office, you can always show them the video, the installation video, which is real nice.
Yep.
It takes a minute to you guys just saw it. It doesn't even take a minute to go through that video.
And this works too. If you're just walking down the hall, you can show somebody real quick.
Questions? Any questions? Experts now? Everybody's an expert? Are we excited to sell? Super.
So you use
and by the way, before you shut that off, we normally don't dress like this, but yes, we won the Super Bowl, people.